Hi Inez! This week I'm going to be talking about work, and a dog, and a printing press, and I think that's it. Anyway, yeah. So first, a story. I was at work, and there's this guy there. He looks pretty old, he's wearing black, his voice is kind of like this, not like the gruff, but like definitely smoker. And so he's sitting there on the benches, and I'm doing carts, and he looks over at me, he's like, "Do you know anything about phones?" I'm like, "Sort of. Sure." So I go over, he has essentially a burner Android phone. It's not very great, but I mean, it's okay. And he's like, "Okay, so my mom and my brother called me, and after my brother called me, my phone went crazy. Watch this, so you can see it." And he taps the button to go to the phone app, and it says app not installed. That's a problem. That's a big problem. I don't know how to fix it directly, so I'm like, okay, factory reset. But he's like, no, we'll keep trying. Or sorry, no, we'll keep trying. I gotta figure this out. And so he's working on it, and I'm like, I have work to do, but I mean, I'll work some when I can. So he's doing his thing as much as he can, and he can't call anybody. Eventually someone calls him and then hangs up, which means that the phone app started, and he can get back into it to call people back and to type numbers. So now it's working. But he still needs to figure out all the rest of the problems with the phone. So he's doing that, and I'm working. Speaking of which, union changes coming soon in the video. So he's working, and I come back, and he somehow managed to find the granny settings. Tap something for the phone to say its name and highlight it, and then double tap for that button to get clicked for every button, including swiping. And you can't highlight swiping, so you can't swipe or scroll. You can't highlight swiping, so you can't swipe or scroll. I'm sorry, I'm doing my gestures down here. And so this is a pretty big problem. But also he got invert color, which means everything looks really scary to someone who can't even read very well. He's like, "Is that a 60? I'm like, "No, that says go." "Oh, okay, yeah, it says go." That's a problem. So, he's working, and he brings up his camera, and everything's inverted. So he's like, "Well, you can see people in the background. I think this is showing me something." And it said, "Watch out." And I'm like, "Okay." He's like, No. I figured out what it is. The police are listening to it." Yeah. The police are listening to his phone. I don't know why, but, I mean, they gave themselves away a minute ago. Some guy walked in here and says, "You can't get I-5 here." I don't know what that means, but it's probably some kind of police language. I'm sitting here like, oh my goodness. Granny settings. So I'm trying to factory reset the phone. Doesn't work, because factory reset is very intentionally not put at the top of the menus, because they don't want grannies to get to it. But that also means you can't get out of granny settings, because they're also not at the top of the menu. So anyone from Google who's watching this, who designed the granny settings for some burner Android phone, you done goofed. They suck. Anyway, so that was fun. Work. Oh yeah, so how I don't know if you've heard, but I've had trouble finishing all my stuff. Turns out, it's not at all part of the union contract for baggers and courtesy clerks like me to fill milk or dairy. Not at all. It's totally not okay. All we can do is face, which means pull it up to the front. We can't fill it from behind. So this whole time, I've been working 15-20 minutes late at work to finish everything, to do a job that I wasn't supposed to be doing in the first place. Which obviously raises the question, how long has this been going on? How many people have just been like, okay, this is what my boss tells me to do? So yeah, that was a mess. But I mean, now work is fine, I don't have any concerns. It's gonna be interesting, but I mean, now I have a lot of free time, I can actually do all the other things well. Other thing, we have a dog. There should be some footage going up right about now. My parents are doing skateboard tricks on the beanbag. Because it's an ollie. Ollie? Oh, by the way, he dragged his bed downstairs from upstairs. He's like a phone. He has a vibrate setting. He goes, "Lah." Hey, Ollie.
Over here, Ollie. Grab it, grab it.
Here's the vicious Ollie in his natural habitat. Homonoming.
I still can't believe you drug that bed all the way down here. I put it in the middle of the floor in the project room.
Whee!
He won't growl.
Growler. And a throwback from last week, because I forgot, we went to a printing press. Or technically, we went to a place, it's a graphic arts place, which is pretty cool. I also get to do a job shadow there. And they have a printing press, and footage of that.
I'll put the black down first, then I'll put the cyan on top of the black, and then I'll put the magenta on top of the black and cyan, and then I'll put the yellow.
Anyway, it's been a great week. Had time with friends, been pretty fun. And I hope to see you next week. Adios.